There is a moment that comes quietly, without warning. It does not announce itself as failure, and it does not explain why it has arrived. It simply sits beside you like a shadow at dusk, long and silent. Nothing dramatic happens. The world does not stop. Yet inside, something feels different, heavier, still. You may remember how it began. With effort, with hope that was simple and honest. You tried, not loudly, not to impress anyone, but because something inside you believed it was worth trying, and for a while that belief felt warm. It kept you moving forward. Then one day, without a clear reason, it faded, not all at once, but slowly, like a light dimming at the end of a long corridor. Failure often enters this way, not as a single event, but as a quiet realization. A sense that what you hoped for did not arrive. A sense that something slipped through your hands while you were holding it carefully. You look back and wonder when it changed. Was it one choice? One moment of doubt? Or was it always meant to pass like this? There is a strange silence that follows. Not the peaceful kind. The kind where your thoughts grow louder because nothing else is speaking. You replay small details, words you said, words you did not say. You wonder what they saw when they looked at you. You wonder what they thought when things did not work out. And even though no one is speaking aloud, it feels as if something is being said. In that silence, emotions rise gently but persistently. Disappointment does not shout, it whispers. It asks questions that have no easy answers. Was I not enough? Did I miss something important? Why does this feel so personal, even when no one blames me? You sit with these questions longer than you expected to. Time moves, but you remain in that same inner place, the place where effort and outcome no longer match, where doing your best did not protect you from losing. This is often where the heart becomes tired, not from work, but from carrying expectations that had nowhere to land. And yet something else is present too, a faint awareness, a sense that this quiet moment matters even if it hurts, that it is asking you to notice, not to react, to observe what is happening inside without rushing to explain it away. The world outside continues, indifferent and steady, while inside everything feels delicate. You may feel the urge to speak, to justify, to defend yourself from imagined judgments. You may feel the pull to react, even though no one has accused you. Silence feels uncomfortable because it leaves space. Space for doubt, space for reflection, space for truths you may not be ready to hear. But in this early stillness, nothing is demanded of you. There is no lesson yet, no meaning neatly arranged, only the experience of being here in the aftermath of something that did not go as planned. Breathing slowly, listening inwardly, allowing the feeling to exist without pushing it away. Failure at first does not teach. It waits. It watches how you sit with it, whether you rush to escape the feeling or whether you remain long enough to understand it. And as the night deepens, as the noise of expectation fades, you begin to sense that this silence is not empty. It is full of something unnamed, something forming, something patient. And for now, that is enough. There comes a time when silence is no longer gentle. It becomes heavy, almost physical, as if it presses against the chest. You feel it most when words rise inside you, ready to be spoken, yet you choose not to release them. Not because you have nothing to say, but because saying it would change something you are not ready to change. They begin to speak in their own way. Sometimes through looks, sometimes through quiet assumptions. Nothing is said directly, yet everything feels implied. You sense their conclusions forming, slowly and confidently, without ever asking you what truly happened. And you notice how easily a story can be shaped when one voice remains silent. At first, you tell yourself it does not matter. You remind yourself that explanations are not always owed. But the feeling does not leave so easily. It lingers, asking to be acknowledged. What do they think of me now? What do they believe this silence means? Do they see calm or do they see weakness? Not responding requires more strength than speaking. Speaking would be simple. A few words, carefully chosen, could straighten the story, soften the edges, make things clearer. Silence, on the other hand, offers no protection. It leaves you exposed to misunderstanding. It allows others to fill the gaps with whatever feels most convenient to them. There is a quiet ache in this restraint, a sense of standing still while the world moves around you, drawing conclusions you cannot control. You begin to notice how much of your discomfort comes not from what happened, but from how it is being interpreted. And still you remain quiet. Why is it so difficult to let them misunderstand you? Perhaps because being seen wrongly feels like being unseen at all. Perhaps because deep inside you want to be known, to be understood without having to explain every fragile detail. Silence denies that wish, at least for now. Your thoughts begin to circle. You replay moments imagining what you could say, how you could say it, how their expressions might change if they only heard your side. These imagined conversations feel vivid, almost real, and yet, when the moment comes, you choose again to say nothing. This is where the weight settles. Not on the tongue, but on the heart. Silence demands patience, and patience is not passive. It is an active holding back words, holding steady emotions, holding your sense of self while others define it for you. You start to observe something subtle. The more you resist reacting, the more clearly you see your own impulses. The urge to defend is strong, but beneath it lies fear. Fear of being dismissed, fear of being judged unfairly, fear that silence will cost you respect. And yet another question rises, softer but persistent. What if speaking now would cost you something greater? What if every explanation pulls you further away from yourself? You sit with this question, not answering it, just allowing it to exist. They continue, unaware of the quiet struggle unfolding within you. Their certainty contrasts sharply with your restraint. And in that contrast, something begins to take shape, a realization that your inner world is not theirs to manage, that their understanding or lack of it does not have to dictate your response. Still, this understanding does not bring immediate peace. Silence remains uncomfortable. It tests your emotional discipline in small, relentless ways. Each moment you not react feels like a choice made again and again, a choice to endure uncertainty rather than chase approval. As the night grows quieter, you notice your breathing slow. The urgency to explain begins to loosen its grip. You are still misunderstood, yes, but you are also still whole, still present, still able to observe without collapsing inward. In this quiet endurance, something unexpected happens. The silence that once felt like a burden begins to feel like a boundary, not a wall, but a space, where you are learning what truly belongs to you and what never did. For now, you remain there, saying nothing, watching carefully, letting the weight rest where it is, trusting that it is shaping you in ways words never could. With time, the silence begins to change its shape. It no longer feels like something you are enduring. It feels like something you are entering. Slowly, without effort, you start to notice what the noise once covered. Small thoughts, honest feelings, truths that were too quiet to survive in the rush to explain yourself. You begin to see that failure was not only about what did not happen, it was also about what was revealed. When everything fell quiet, certain expectations lost their power. You notice how much of your effort was once tied to being seen a certain way, how much energy was spent trying to meet an image that was never fully yours. This realization does not arrive as a sudden insight. It unfolds gently, like dawn light across a room. You remember moments when you acted from fear rather than from clarity, moments when approval mattered more than alignment, and instead of judging yourself, you simply observe. There is a softness, in this observation. A kindness you did not know you were capable of giving yourself. In the stillness, you feel the difference between dignity and pride. Pride wanted to speak, to correct, to win back something that felt lost. Dignity asks for less. It does not rush. It does not demand understanding. It rests quietly in the knowledge of who you are. Even when no one else recognizes it, you notice how silence has protected something fragile within you. By not reacting, you preserved a part of yourself that explanations might have bruised. You did not give away your story in pieces shaped by pressure. You kept it whole, even if that meant keeping it quiet. Failure now appears differently, not as proof of inadequacy, but as a pause that redirected your attention inward. It asked you to listen rather than perform, to feel rather than defend, to sit with discomfort until it revealed its message. And its message was never meant for them. It was meant for you. You begin to understand that being misunderstood is not always a loss. Sometimes it is a clearing. When others step back, when their expectations fade, you are left alone with what remains true. And what remains feels simpler than you imagined, quieter, stronger. There is a calm confidence growing, almost unnoticed. It does not announce itself. It does not need validation. It comes from knowing that you can survive silence without disappearing, that your worth does not weaken when it is not spoken aloud. You reflect on how easily reactions once guided you, how quickly emotions move from feeling to action. Now there is space between them, a pause where you can choose not from impulse but from understanding. This space feels new, and it feels steady. You realize that silence has been teaching you restraint, not as denial, but as refinement. It has helped you separate what truly matters from what only feels urgent. It has shown you that strength can be quiet and still remain unshaken. As you sit with this awareness, there is no need to resolve everything, no need to rewrite the past. The clarity you feel is enough. It settles into you gently, like a deep breath taken after a long wait. You are no longer asking what they think. That question has softened, lost its sharpness. In its place is another understanding, that your inner life deserves respect even from you. Especially from you. Failure did not diminish you. Silence did not erase you. Together they shaped a deeper sense of self-respect, one that does not depend on being right or being seen or being explained. In this quiet realization, you feel grounded, not elevated, not triumphant, just steady. And for the first time in a while, that steadiness feels like enough.